And after all that training, it's something we can no longer explain. That's right, infidels. We're back here to light the fuse. Two-man booth. Big shout out to Big Sil, Chris Silvio, not joining us today, but he'll be back next week. We love you, Sil. Genocide, keep kicking ass down there in Mission Pro. But it's MSG, Hacker Hamin, back in the driver's seat, infidels. It's time to punch it, Chewy, and light that fuse. YOLO! Yeah, man. Good morning to you. Up early after late night of terrible wrestling programs.
Interesting.
Yeah, very lackluster, very mailed in. Roman was about the only thing that shined on SmackDown, and I could punch his performance up. And this, whatever this show was, led into with the most moronic promo choice of all time. We're workshopping some things. We've got some focus groups. We're going to have Bischoff unannounced, just show up on the show. I mean, it's going to be a real humdinger. So, y'all, good morning, early morning out there in Rocky Mountain High. How you doing, MSG?
I'm good, man. Of course, as you said there, I'm your host on the scene. The air is clean. I'm lighting up that green. Your boy, MSG. That's right. Yeah, we're back Saturday morning. I've only been off work for a couple hours, so I'm still up and about, doing my thing. So I'm fine, hanging out. I watched AEW. I came home and watched that. I didn't feel like the show was that as bad as you thought, but maybe by the end of the review, you're going to explain to me why it was.
Still sent me a message. He said, "Be nice, Hacker," but I was all ready to go. All right, I'm going to do a nice Silvio thing, but they kicked my legs out on that shit, left, right, and center, man. Holy cow, there was some terrible segments in this show.
Well, we'll get to it all, I guess, here in the breakdown. I mean, you mentioned there, a couple different things here. Of course, I'm sure I did. Yes, I did watch the Friday Locker Room secret declassified Thursday recording. It's not really secret. Hamin Media Group's Patreon and on their YouTube. Been on Means YouTube as well, and you can watch it every Thursday morning for the declassified recording. But I watched the full show, so we don't need to go over too many headlines. However, this is AEW show, so and you mentioned it there. Yeah, Cody Rhodes is workshopping some promos there, Ben. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, that's new. That's something definitely an actor and entertainer would do. So I guess I applaud Cody for trying something different. However, is that something you tell the public?
No.
Okay.
You just go, the public go, man, Cody's promos are really well thought out and are poignant, and he should be like, the workshopping is working. And what does workshopping mean? Does that mean he's doing promo class and having the fucking students? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm breaking up.
Yeah.
I'll check 1, 2. You got me or no?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Does that mean he's just performing in front of his students and that's the workshopping where they all go, yeah, that's what you should say and da-da-da. So who are you workshopping with? Or are you going to Stephen Amell and other actors from Heels who are veterans in the game and being like, how should I do my promos in a more TV, movie, cinema style that have a poignant delivery? To say you're workshopping, in front of it. And granted, reps are reps. I'm not going to say either one is wrong, but you should be able to not have to. There's some promos that you want to, but Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass was right off the top of his head. You got your little Johnson 316s, your Psalms. Oh, you can keep your book. But dude, if you're fucking now trying to be a monologist, that's interesting. It could get pulled off, but the segment he was in tonight was the biggest pile of shit on the show. So, and he knew it. Big Show knew it, and fucking Bobo or whatever the fuck knows it, bro. It was awful. And the best acting we do is when we say nothing at all. So we workshopped all that, and it was just. I don't know, the SJW promo about his daughter and stuff beforehand, where he gets in the layered reference about a guy who made bumpers, which he's talking about Tony Khan Sr. and how he did. Like, you're towing that line for a billionaire, the boyhood dream that became, but you can't tie it to son of a plumber. It's just throw your hands up, like, ugh. To be honest with you, man, like, and I like the shit out of Cody. I have been cool with him, but like, we got to talk honestly about the work, and that's what I'm here to do. The more he wanted to be anti Triple H, every step he takes feels more Triple H to me.
Because he's that pretty boy poster guy, right?
Just gotta have eyes on me, and I gotta have a 20-minute segment to show that I'm a fucking star, that I'm the star. Everybody else is on their own show or on another show. This part of the show is my show. I will open with a 20-25-minute promo if I want to, week after week after week. I will show that everybody else's bullshit is phony, but what I do is real because of the way, like, it all has a big game feel to me, bro.
Well, I guess it'll remain to see if these Cody Rhodes workshop promos pay off. I guess, like, but to my point, that just kind of, kills the allure. Like, don't get me wrong. Even Hollywood still is secretive and protective to an extent. The Rock's not coming out. Man, I just did a really good workshop where I talked about brother.
Yeah, bro.
Nobody's doing that. You don't have these actors coming out and telling you about their acting lessons that a lot of people don't know that they still constantly go to. They have to continue to do their craft. They're not coming out and be like, hey, we had a great new lesson tonight. Let me show you on Instagram. Right. You know what I mean? So, like, it kind of kills that allure of the entertainer.
And I left acting, not left acting. I'd gladly go back to it, left theater of the phony for improv.
Right.
Because it flows through you and you are truly in the moment, which is the most essential thing in live performance, where you have to react to a crowd. Now, if you're workshopping promos for a pre-tape, where there's no crowd at something, that's different. But if you're workshopping promos to then go out there, now you're remembering a promo and you're plotting and predicated and you're in your own head and you're out of the moment.
Right.
Instead of having, I'm confident in the voice of my character. I know I have 4 things that I have to hit. I'm going to feel it and let it flow through me. I even get a little bit, people have heard me at the end of Master Shoot where I go, I don't know. I felt like I was pushing, like, no, you were funny. I'm like, funny's one thing, but to a true improviser, and where I wanted to take this business, and even when Cody was there at OVW and I was handing out truth and comedy photocopies to people, like, some people were cool with it, and other people were like, what the fuck's this guy doing? Who's he think he is? Okay. I'll gladly put my performance against anybody in OVW history on the mic. That's where I wanted to take this business, where everyone understands and is comfortable with the game we're playing and how to find it, see it, actively listen, respond in the moment. I'm not trying to say when Vince and Stevie do this, when Vince goes, this young writer in the room, and they start adding layers of predicated stuff. Now I have like a scene that I have to follow and fill in the blanks, as opposed to just listening, letting them come into the scene naturally as Deuce or young writer, and responding, being in the moment of what is he actually saying to me with subtext and underlying. And now I have to go through my reference list. I have to react as Vince in the moment. And those, as an improviser, you can just feel the difference of being pushed through a scene because I want to please Vince and give him what he wants to make him laugh, because that always pops me. And I know I can get him. But I'm only at about 70-80% of doing my craft at the highest level. There's a couple of them lately. I think that like Duke to the Dumpster Drosy one, I felt really good and in the moment. Like, and when it's just like being on the front of a bullet and you're just everything. You're just like, whoa, it's coming at you, but it all makes sense. And we can always go back and be like, oh, I wish I would have plucked that gem. I missed that and polished that up a little more. But the feeling of doing that versus, oh, now I got to follow a roadmap for a scene,
that's a good
want to be.
That's a great segue here into my topic too. And I do have the hot topic here for the third topic. We're going to get into the racist comments here made by the commentator. But before we get there, I just wanted to bring up, I've been trying to catch up on these WWE biographies that everybody's been watching. And I happened to watch the Macho Man Randy Savage one yesterday. I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through it. Something that I found interesting though was them kind of outlining the fact that that Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat had gone through and written out all 160 moves of the match, right? Now, of course, unless you're Ricky Steamboat and the Macho Man Randy Savage, I mean, you really can't make the argument that you should have that, I guess, that ability to do so. But my question is, you make the case being the Raw in the moment, you've of course been trained OVW style, excuse me. Do you feel like this could end up being a catalyst for people to use as an excuse going forward? Well, Macho Man and Ricky did it, so why are you coming at me?
Yeah, well, there's a little difference here, and I like what you're saying because I've watched the Bucks with AR Fox and whoever else is a brilliant performer who does things that I don't do, go through everything, duck, and then they get out there and they remember most of the Bucks do because their matches are, theirs now. It's a whole type of style, but I've seen guys try and emulate that, and then they have all this shit. And we're going to go here, and we're going to go to this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and you'll duck and come back, hit one, duck two, foul. And when they get out there, one thing goes awry or they're in the moment, they might get 40% of that shit that they planned in the back, bro. So why would you marry yourself to that unless you're a complete obsessive compulsive, which is why Macho Man had to work like that and do that because he's so psycho. Now that in the match, if you can do it and if you have time to rehearse it to get it all down and you want to have the perfect match where you put something together, then you add more on it and then you tighten it up and get it to where it should be. So for the pay-per-view, I don't have a problem with that, really honest with you. Like if him and Steamboat rehearsed it 20 times, so it would be fucking
that's WrestleMania, right?
Right, exactly. I would do the same thing probably, And then now they'd see you doing that, and you're like, I got an 8-minute match, and I got all this planned. Then they go, oh, you got 4 minutes. Oh, fuck. What happens when you tell somebody that, and they've got all that in their mind? Now you're fucked.
Right.
You're fucked. So that's what being married to something like that is a big problem in what we do. The other side of that coin is that I don't have a problem with because it's the match. We're talking the promo and the interaction and the crowd seeing you as your character and responding in kind. So, like I said, 3 or 4 bullet points that you got to get to, but you should be able to interweave and feel the pace and flow and da-da-da. When you're doing a monologue, it's not that at all, bro. That's a different structure.
Something that I also found interesting as they were pointing out, because you could hear Ricky in the background counting as the moves. Not everything was a wrestling move. Everything that was counted out also was just movement. Stop.
Do you think Macho Man promos were fucking scripted like that? I don't think so. I think Macho was in them. I think it's the exact, when it comes to the physicality, if you can do move for move and tell the story that way and you're that meticulous and you have the time to rehearse it, I don't really have that too much of a problem with it, especially those two guys who can make it look real and not rehearsed. The promo is the exact opposite. Savage's energy was all over the place. With a look from Sherry, he was reacting and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's the difference of this. So I don't think he's workshopping his matches and focus grouping his matches. He's fucking doing it on the promo instead of bringing in the kid right here or the man right here, I guess, and showing him how it should be done, or seeking out, TJ and Dave. I mean, there's thousands of unbelievable improvisers I could bring in to throw their way, but nobody's going to be able to cross the boundaries of how to deal with wrestlers and how to show wrestlers how to apply high-level improv skills into what they're doing. And once everybody's on that same page, now we can get some real shit going that nobody's ever seen before. But I've never been, since DCW, in a position to totally train that. And then when I did for then when I did for 3 months and everybody was on that same page or getting it, then we started doing things that even Rip was like, I never seen this shit before, boys. This is good. So there's something to it, but it still sits in the background.
Well, some people that sit in the background generally, and they kind of narrate each professional wrestling match are commentators. Colin White Sung here from the Impact Attack, and go check it out right now, HaminMediaGroup.patreon.com, as well as you can check it out on the YouTube. Said racist comments. Do you know what they said? They were just mocking Sheeta. Well, I'm glad you reacted, because what I was giving Colin was a teaser, and that's our first Japanese. Right, here comes our third topic, guys, and I've got it pulled up, so we're going to play the clip here. It's only 18 seconds, and you tell, and then we'll go to the translation. So, according to this, there was a translation done for us, and it says that Alex Abrahantes said, "Do Sheeta," as in translate her promo, and William Urbina said, "Speaks incoherently using a stereotypical accent." Thunder Rosa said, "Shut up, holy crap," and she laughs. William Urbina continues on with the accent. Thunder Rosa goes, "I will throw the pen at you if you don't stop," said in a joking manner. And Dasha Corrett said, "Stop it, you are mean," seemingly addressing Urbina, sounding crossed about it. So it sounds like the women definitely were sticking up for her, but commentator Abrahantes was kind of getting all over it there, Ben. Me, Japanese in that. You know, like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then later on that show, Jake Roberts comes out with Murder Hawk and goes, "Let me say it in your own language." And that means shut the fuck up. You know, like so he's doing it live on the mic. I guess at the end of the day, racist dialect is hilarious. Yeah. Like we all are so ready to be offended and stereotypes. Meanwhile, go out there and play a stereotype. Go play a big biker. Go play fucking a ninja woman. Go play fucking whatever. You know, all this dumb shit. So, but we got to stay woke, and we can't fucking cross these lines in the parody of wrestling, dude. Like, but you know, this is in WWE the same thing. They said they do the PSA with Asuka where she says, "I love Asian culture." And, you know, they put her out there to fucking look like Charlie Chan instead of letting her do it in Japanese and doing subtitles the other way around. And then on the heels of John Cena speaking Mandarin while he apologizes to the Chinese overlords, like, yeah, dude, it's red hot racist Asian time right about now, you know? And fucking same as when we're at war with Pakistan. I come out and the fans are going, "Durka, Durka, Durka." And like, they think they're fucking over. I'm like, okay. You know, like this is what's inside of us as human beings. Is it ignorant? Yeah. But is it hilarious? The sounds that we make in our languages? Absolutely.
Yeah.
If it was anything, Sheeta, I would fucking write it back to come out and next thing go, "Oye, vato, say Simon," and fucking do all that right back on, bro. Like, say yes to the fucking racist game, and everyone is just a fucking stereotype or whatever the fuck.
There is a Japanese counterculture where they have taken up like the Cholo look. I watched a Vice documentary on it one night. It was very interesting.
Yeah, dude, there's fucking a whole thing going on right now with blacks and Asian Crips and shit in LA where this fucking one dude shit all over him and was doing a promo on World Star in the car, fucking pulling his eyes back and doing all the same fucking thing he just did in that promo. All the fucking Japanese. Are they gonna come for her? Are they gonna fucking come back?
What the f are you all saying? You Japanese racist!
I think that shit is hilarious because I'm a comedian who knows no boundaries, and now Chicago would fucking lose their mind off of some shit like that. And it doesn't matter. Like, and at the end of the day, we were offended instead of fucking laughing at ourselves and be like, "No, that's ignorance and it perpetuates this and da-da-da-da and more division." Sure. But it's in your fucking DNA. It has been because we came up through history. Why? Because we bombed the fuck out of Hiroshima. Why? Because they attacked Pearl Harbor in a false flag event. Why can't we fucking make fun of Germans goose stepping and that type of shit? Let them fucking eat cake for the fucking history that's been there. Do we have to take a beating with white guilt over slavery? Absolutely. Would it fucking be funnier if somebody came back like a Sheeta or a Mexican and was trying to go, oh, I don't know, dude, like, and making fun of white, stupid American shit? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yep. But everybody is so quick to fucking, how dare you? You're this, you're that, and the other. Fuck that, dude. You have so many trips around the sun. These are the stupidest little things to get fucking pissed over instead of just laughing of like, yeah, it does fucking sound like fucking, you know, some 1950s fucking Warner Brothers cartoon where they're making fun of, like, this is what we grew up with, dude. So don't the cancel culture ain't gonna fucking change that. And there's a reason for parody, whether it is, you know, we're pointing out British people's fucked up teeth and inbred fucking royal family. I don't give a shit. We're on WWE. They got fucking Sheamus. I love me gold. And then they send out Braveheart and Nigeria. And so
it's
fuck
just
it all, bro. Fuck them all.
This whole pretending, right, is what it is. It's this pretending of this social justice, because behind closed doors, you know, growing up, my close best friends, Filipinos still are today, you know, Indian, black, all we did was rag on each other. Like, and it wasn't like in a I hate you manner. It was just clowning to be clowning because it was funny. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And then everybody continues to do that behind closed doors. Even now, like I continue to joke on him and he'll joke on me. It's just, you know, you're just having a good time because it's funny to point out all the ridiculousness that's in this world that everyone has to deal with. And everyone's so afraid to point out, hey, that's kind of a funny accent, or that person actually sounds kind of funny when from my perspective, whereas I probably sound funny to somebody listening to me who listens to the South Park podcast on the other side of the world. And they're like, this guy's hilarious. And that's why I listen to him, just because he's got a weird
Exactly, bro. And comedy and being able to laugh at ourselves and be offended. I go for the groaner joke. Like, that's one of the ones that I love the most. Than just like the truth you have to eat backed with like a tasteless joke of like, oh, that was funny, but I don't want to laugh at it. Like, that is the highest level of comedy.
Like when you get the weird like silence, like
yes, always walking that line. Like, I'm here to make you feel something. You know what I mean? And that's what I love. And if we can play in that space and then laugh about it later and be like, you know, just take it for what it is. Because if we start shaving down those options in comedy to fucking don't you even think about going that way, and you have to rewrite your mindset, now we fucked up the human existence. So was it a smart move for old boy to do ching chong bitch on the fucking mic? No. But especially in front of that crowd who are cancel culture maniacs who can't take the discussion that we're having right now and have it openly, who are trying to toe the fucking line, but the line is bigotry because you have Khan doing all that, but then his employees doing that, and then he has fucking Jake Roberts on the show doing what he does. He says he'd never hire a fucking sex offender or da-da-da. And then he goes and rents the ring from a guy who's accused in Florida, right? And so there's all these carny things of see how fucking great we are as a PR stunt, but every move we make and the things we do behind the scenes undo that fully. And then what else am I going to do? An hour before the show, I'm going to cut the stupidest fucking Mark-ass promo on a CEO at WWE that's nameless and faceless, who's got my last name. And how do you think that fucking looks? You look like a complete mark for yourself, bro. And you're pushing your arms out. Why nobody is grabbing him by the ear and be like, no, dude, come the fuck here. You cannot do this. Like, if you want to fire shots at them, let's fucking bang, bang. But you doing that opens you up to so many critics and so many things that make the rest of us look bad, the company look like some Mark shit, and you are going to get fucking ridiculed for it. This is not going to get anybody over, and they're going to be in Stanford laughing at your motherfucking ass because they're going to no-sell. They're going to no-sell, and now you look like a fanboy fucking Mark. There's no big brother grabbing him by the collar to stop him from doing this type of shit, bro. It's It's a big, big problem. Especially you're going to come out and fucking try and slap nuts when you just got demoted to TBS and your show's on Friday and you didn't even have a fucking promotion. Like that promotion time was like, could have been, hey guys, thank you, loyal AEW fans. We're so pumped. Tonight you're going to see a first live crowd for AEW.
Right. They didn't promote that. I totally forgot when I started watching. I was like, oh, wow, live crowd. Yeah.
And thank you for joining us for Friday here the next 2 weeks. We love the NBA too. We love being a part of the TNT Warner family. And thank you for following us over here. Let's have some fucking fun on Friday night. Boom. That's the promo.
That's the Vince McMahon opening black grape, sitting there mic'd up. During the whatever the Vince voice power, we've been doing it hard. We're back to give you live entertainment. Yeah, get in there. You know what I mean? So like,
I want to put the guy over because I heard he smokes hella weed like me and you, like nonstop. So you'd think he'd be chill and be with it instead of this get myself over. And there's nobody to fucking big brother him like that there, bro. And they just let him go and put that shit out there. Huge problems. The optics of that to TNT are not good. I don't know how nobody's stopped this, and I don't know how it hasn't happened with all these scrum fucking bullshit things at the end. Him having to deal with NFL and having to deal with soccer, that nobody still really put this guy in a big.
He got demoted there, right? His other soccer team got demoted too. So he got demoted there. He got demoted to TBS. I'm not saying TBS is a bad network. In fact, TBS on a cable tier is actually eligible and able to get out to a wider audience theoretically, because TNT usually is the second package up from a cable perspective.
You're the big brother, right? You don't have a big brother?
Yep, I'm the big brother. That is correct.
You're right. I don't think you did this to your sister, but like, what's a big brother do to a little brother when he gets out of line?
You kind of rough house with him a little bit,
Scope him right in the fucking arm, right in between the muscles, right here. You pinch him on the back of the arm.
I had a sister, so mine was more of a mental mind fuck. I would mentally mind fuck with her a little.
Well, your kid's a psychologist. You're all fucked up.
Yeah. She's a psychologist too. That's probably why I
But the up in the fucking tough tundra where I grew up, love my brother, and he never stepped out of line. But I'm going to see the whole posse today, and we reinforce things with pain,
right,
with bad ribs. So you fucking know not to do something, or it's just how much can you take? It's coming, so you're always on fucking guard to not get your shit twisted, right? Nobody is thumping Khan in the fucking arm. Bro, if I played circle game with him for a fucking week, I'd have his arm black and blue. And then from then on, anytime he tried to fucking do something dumb like that, I go, and I'd fucking and he'd know through operant conditioning of pain and punishment, like a big brother would, of how to get this fucking
that's pretty factual. I mean, I openly tell people I'm like 5'9", so generally speaking, I'm the smaller guy. But to surround myself with the bigger guys, I had to get fucked with a little bit. You got to take those thumpings. That way, if you say something stupid, they check you, and then you get back. You get put back.
You think before you fucking say something stupid the next fucking time. And we're not seeing any. When you hear this fucking Khan promo versus going at Nick Khan, there's nobody checking this motherfucker, bro. Nobody.
Well, you know who does like to check people, Ben? Stevie Ray. And you can visit patreon.com/Stevie Ray TV, where he be checking fools left and right. And apparently, Ben, he's got to have a hot round table. He's lining up here. Breaking news here. Apparently, he's got a guy that he was interacting with online, going back and forth, invited him onto the show. And it's a gentleman who is, African-American descent. He's a black man, lives in America. And apparently he wants to tell Stevie Ray about black privilege. So that will be coming up here. We had never heard of that term, black privilege.
I can see his point, even though without hearing it, like that's an interesting topic to me for that, man. I think there's a lot of, especially in this generation, wanting reparations for something that we kind of solved and made it through in the 90s. It's a whole bullshit spectrum of what I'm not saying George Floyd to whatever's gone down in fucking
right, you're talking about the media and the commercialization.
Yeah.
And I think that's what that guy is kind of be coming from. And I think Stevie Ray is coming from that opposite end. Like, no, man, like, what do you mean? Like, so like, I think it's going to be a good conversation. Shane Taylor apparently is going to be a part of this. I've also been asked to be a part of this, so it'll apparently be me on the line.
We need a white voice. Get the
That's
white.
it.
We know.
I'm the white guy voice, and
Hey, dude.
maybe I can add some levity to try and understand from where this guy grew up, because I know he grew up in Louisiana, and I'm just jumping to conclusions here. I think he grew up in mostly a white neighborhood, probably, where they probably instilled the values that white people are better than black people, or that other things happen this way. Because I grew up in a liberal area where it's the opposite. So I'm very interested to see how his community influenced this guy, growing up as a kid.
Matt, you are now the token affirmative action hire, except instead of being a brown minority, it is now shifted to a white minority to be in here. I wonder if, like the movies, the white guy will now be killed first in the black discussion, as opposed to the black guy getting killed in the white movie first. I really am looking forward to the tables turning, but hey, get all of the new minority roles you can. We got to hear this fucking bullshit. It's unbelievably bad. This is what he's spending his time on instead of promoting his show before he fucking
go live on TNT tonight with.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Cocksucker.
All I was thinking, I couldn't find.
We set to go live on TNT tonight with AEW Dynamite at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. I introduce to you the CEO, the owner, the president of All Elite Wrestling and the Forbidden Door, Mr. Tony Khan.
Thank you very much, Tony. I appreciate it, Mr. Shivani. And as we get ready to go live tonight on Dynamite on TNT, I just wanted to address, as the Forbidden Door, I read in the Observer today that New Japan Pro Wrestling apparently has had talks with WWE's president, Nick Khan. Well, Nick, I have to say, if you've been talking to New Japan Pro Wrestling for 2 months, you've gotten a lot done. Just in the last 2 weeks, I've had Yuji Nagata, Ren Narita, and Rocky Romero on AEW. I've reunited Roppongi Vice. I've had the New Japan IWGP US champion Jon Moxley defend the title successfully on our show, retaining it. And I have future plans with New Japan Pro Wrestling for the US title. So you must have really gotten a lot done in the 2 months, Nick. In fact, I think there's only room for one Khan in the wrestling business, Nick. And it's me, it's Tony Khan. It's not some con man from Connecticut. Have a fun show tonight, Nick. See you on Dynamite.
Dude, the whole time he's holding his fucking arms up, like trying to pump his shit out. Dude, that's what he decided to use his time for instead of pumping his Friday night show with live crowd, bro.
Well,
that's a huge problem.
Oh, I understand. I mean, we can get more into that here. A couple things I just want to say. Token white guy, I couldn't find just the clip. I was just looking for Dave Chappelle saying somebody got to talk to the police. So I was looking for that one. And the second thing here is Plaja. I grew up in downtown Los Angeles. My parents were we were poor all my life. So I probably grew up as one of the only few white kids in the neighborhood. Now I would get fucked with a lot, but I was their white boy. That was me. I was their white boy on the block. So I definitely did not grow up in some hoity-toity suburban area. I grew up with a huge eclectic group of friends in downtown Los Angeles, and I've been robbed a couple times, which you can go on my Facebook. I've even told my last being robbed. So, I'm not just some fucking weirdo. You think Ben would have put me with Stevie Ray if I was just some hoity-toity white guy? I don't think so. Anyway, that being said, let's move into
and you had a great music career. You in the reggae fucking genre, dude. You definitely have appropriated plenty of other cultures. And
trying to put me in that white bubble though. Hey,
bro, if the paycheck's there, you fucking get.
If the paycheck comes,
in the goddamn white bubble, get in there.
I'll be in there if you give me the paycheck. Let's get into this.
A fucking goof. What a fucking goof, bro.
Patreon.com/Stevie Ray TV. And you can go there, sign up. You can go to any of our Patreons as well. Patreon.com/The A Show. Colin Williams is a producer there with Mr. Damian Sando, Aaron Stevens, and April Hunter. You can also go to patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. Sign up for all of our great content there. Patreon.com/The Two-Man Power Trip as well. Rick Vickery doing a fantastic job there with John Paz. We've got patreon.com/Larry Hankin. We got patreon.com/The Beautiful People. We got Patreon. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. We're doing it all here at Hamin Media Group.
The A Show, yeah, absolutely. Russo, TW,
Big Vito brand. I'm sorry, that was the last.
Big Vito brand, Goldilocks brand. Man. It's all going down, man. And you guys have been diehards. We're 26 strong on a Saturday morning talking about this fucking goof pumping his muscles up on Adderall, fucking up his promo. So here we are, getting the white bubble. God damn it!
Well, maybe you should get a podcast in Toxic Avenger, then you can actually have a voice. Let's go to the AEW review here.
Good stuff.
A special preempted broadcast, of course, as we mentioned, Friday night AEW Dynamite advertised Orange Cassidy responding to Kenny Omega's offer to defer his title shot. A weigh-in between Cody and Anthony Ogogo in the Dark Order versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And tonight's Dynamite as well was the go-home show for AEW Double or Nothing. A couple stats here really quickly. Last week, it did 821,000 viewers, which was down from the previous week of 936,000 and down from the previous week from 1.9 million. It's not good. It's not good. It's
not going to get into this show on Friday at 10 at night, post SmackDown. How's that going to get on a holiday weekend versus the NBA finals? And NHL playoffs and MLB, dude, I'm thinking, but the crowd's back, but that might not, I think 7-10 tops, if that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, having the crowd back there was definitely nice tonight. We'll get into that for sure as we started off the show. Their only competition was the NBA playoffs, really, as that was on the competing network last night. The pro wrestling, there was some pro wrestling bits. Adon Verk, he got let go here from WWE after 5 weeks, and there was some big controversy about that. You can get more of that breakdown in the Friday locker room, though.
He might have a spot on the Spanish announce team if he works on it.
That's probably why I found that number. AEW Dynamite YouTube viewership last Wednesday was 3.1 million, which was up from 2.4. So they definitely got some numbers there. Most viewed video was Mox and Kingston stealing the Young Bucks Jordans, which got 600,000 views. The least viewed video was Brian.
Huge fuck up on this show too.
Which one? I'm sorry.
On last
night. When they go into break, yeah, definitely. Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison promo got the least, which is interesting. You would have thought they would have promoted that a little bit more with the Dark Side of the Ring stuff. That only got 40,000 views. The average viewership was 160,000. So tonight's AEW Dynamite itself, of course, as they normally do, starts off with a match, and it was Darby Allin taking on Cesar Bonini.
That Serena Sheeta match is on the undercard for Double or Nothing, right?
That is correct. Okay.
I was like, that hasn't happened yet.
That's coming out for this Sunday.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, so on the tonight's Go Home edition, we had Darby taking on Cesar. And then of course we also had a weigh-in that followed and some of that. But starting off with the match, what do you think of Darby Allin versus Cesar Bonini? My only complaint I'd have to say is just as a casual viewer. Well, not even a casual viewer. Darby Allin is going through a lot of big guys. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing for him, but it definitely kind of weakens a lot of the people that they're trying to bring along. These aren't just enhancement talent that are being brought in he's just beating up. These are like establishing stars that they're trying to make. And it kind of seems
Yeah, you're 100% spot on with that, man. He's getting way too much in. Now, Cesar Bononi has a great look to him. Obviously, blue chip athlete that got let go from NXT, who's got a long way to go in this business. He's pretty green, but there's money on him. But his selling needs work, and but this was one of his best matches that he's had on TV so far. And that's scary because a tag match you only have to do half of it, but he did pretty well. But Darby Allin's missing it. He's getting way too much offense in. He needs to sell and fight from underneath almost the whole time until there's a slip from the big guy. He outquicks him, and he can run up and really shift gears and hit 2 or 3 setups to get the coffin drop in.
Right.
It's 2 back and forth here, and Cesar Bononi is just trying to be a good soldier and do what he needs to do, but he doesn't understand that his size and mug into the crowd, I got this little motherfucker, is what he needs to do. Murder Hawk does it pretty well, so he kind of needs to find his own way to emulate that because they're about the same size. But him getting beat up by a guy that's a third of his size the way he was, you're absolutely right. Makes him look small, and it's not the right match for Darby. Jeff Hardy would get his motherfucking ass kicked until it was time to hit his go home package, and that's what needs to really be the same kind of thing for Darby at this point. He should not be lighting big guys up, bro.
Yeah, so you mentioned there, he won with he got the sleeper, then he hit that over the top stunner, drop kick, coffin drop, 1, 2, 3. So that's how he picked up the victory on Darby Allin. It was a kind of a quick match. I mean, overall, I was happy that they kept it short. I thought a lot of the matches itself were actually, within time. At least it wasn't like they didn't drag. I felt like tonight.
I agree with that. In this one, to do a quick one and a decisive victory, Darby needed to get over, but the match should have been 80-20 and it was 60-40. You know what I mean? It should have been 80% Psycho Sid style fucking heat on him, and then slips over to stun him and chop him down in some way with speed and some weird fucking, chop blocks and get him down to win out of nowhere after he kind of takes himself out, like big splash into the fucking corner move. He's sells away, take out his fucking leg to chop him down, come back across, low clothesline, fucking whatever, double stomp, up he goes, boom. Like that should have been all he really got in the match and finish. So they did bury big man style, but like I say, he's green to this shit. He's still learning and when you can say all the tropes of like protect your size to a guy like that, I'm sure he's heard it 100 times. I sure he heard it last night even more, but they still don't know what that means. And you really have to teach them. And unfortunately NXT, apparently that's not going down apparently.
Well, what'll be going down really well is that cup of coffee, because I got it from the broasters.com.
Nice.
Visit thebrosters.com. Use the code RussoBro 5LB and you'll save some money, bro. So,
and I saw last quarter because we just got our partnership payout from that. So I do want to say extra thank you there. But I saw in the last quarter we sold 43 bags of it. So I was really pleased with that, and I'd like to try and break 50. That's awesome, you guys, and that just takes a local business that I work with to a global status. And they actually showed on their Facebook the other day, Broasters Coffee, how pumped they were to see the map of US and now where they ship to each one of those, as opposed to central New York area where it was kind of local. So you guys have really helped take this brand national. And I just wanted to say thanks for buying that Russo brand Broasters Coffee. I saw they dropped another one locally, single barrel whiskey coffee that Broasters is putting out too. So I'm not sure if that's up on the website too. You want to order some of that for somebody. If you're a whiskey fan like I might get some myself.
Colin, you can go to the store for like $15-20 and just get a drip pour. Just heat up some hot water, pour it over Russo Bro coffee in your little glass cylinder coffee holder. Boom. Yeah, you got
how many shirts did I sell, Frank? 3, 1 to you and 2 to others. But you can go to prowrestlingtees.com/Ben Hamin, and Memorial Day weekend, 20% off, especially since YouTube denied my reapplication for monetization. Good stuff.
Well, also ZordosOliveOil.com. Don't forget to check that out.
Triple D.
Greek artist and olive oil. Shout out to Triple D. So after that, there was a breakdown as I kind of didn't like the schmoz here. I did at least appreciate the fact that they paid it off throughout the night. Like at least they paid it off again. So like they didn't question. I didn't have to question my intelligence later and go, well, why didn't Sting and Darby then come back out later? So at least they set it up here. They have
that was fucking terrible too, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving them at least a B for effort. Olin gets on the mic, calls out Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky. The two stroll out. Sky says that they just expect them to come out in their fancy clothes and fight for free, grow up. Sky continues at Double or Nothing that it's going to be the end of one legend and the beginning of 2 more. Then, of course, from behind, Bonini and his group attack Olin and Sting. Page and Sky then run to the ring, throw some shots. Page chokes Allen, and Sky wraps a chair around Sting's ankle, but Dark Order makes the save. And afterwards, they, looks like the Dark Order and Sting and Darby Allin are now cool. Like they've accepted it. All right, you got our backs.
I popped when fucking Cabana gives Sting the knuckles, and and Sting gives it back quick, and Cabana's like, "Fuck yeah, Stinger fucking put me over." I laughed my ass off there, but there's way too many. Yeah, in this shit, bro. The runoff, I guess, was there, but then another runoff. Team douche off the rails on the crazy train. Pretty much, right? Ethan Page looks awesome. I mean, he's in great fucking shape. There's money written all over him. He fucking is the promo guy. So I don't know if I hate to say don't give Scorpio Sky the time, but if you let Scorp go first and not be the backup guy and Page goes, he's going to outshine him every time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's something to protect Scorpio Sky from himself. He just needs to be the yes and man, and we need to find the right fucking exclamation points for him to put on the conversation instead of you go then I go, because it's not going to stack up. It also, he got Scorpio Sky, his shirt beat him in the never-ending battle of wrestlers versus their clothing, where he wanted to show that he's been doing ab work, and he's fucking getting hot and having to unbutton his fucking shirt, and it's taking forever just to go, yeah, abs. Meanwhile, fucking Paige is already unbuttoned and fucking jacked and tan. But I fucking love that battle of clothes versus wrestlers. And then we get the counter run in on the run in, and it's like, okay, Con 101. This shit is overbooked. And now, does Darby Allin's get over match mean anything?
Not really.
Not at all. And that was the important piece of business, not furthering things.
I think I was listening to Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Disco with Russo and Disco, and they were talking about how one of AEW's biggest issue is they'll have some good matches, but then as soon as the match is over, they have the bad guys come in or the heels come in and beat the crap out of the baby faces, really, and you left thinking, well, oh yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Did Darby get really big in here, or it doesn't matter going into the pay-per-view? You know what I mean? Like, here's
where he's green, and here's where Cody might even still be green, and he didn't get it completely from Al because he wasn't there to study booking. He was there to be a big baby face, second generation name. Al would say in the go home, did this segment do business? Did we do business in that? So they think that business is always storyline. Did we further business? So they're asking themselves that, and they're going, yeah, we did. We furthered the storyline. That's not what business is. It can be that, but it's not. The business is to fucking give Darby a decisive win after going under on a big guy that he can fucking show that he can hang with super heavyweights, even if he was on the cell. So I would say Darby's match did not do business for him. That's the business we wanted to set up. Did we accomplish it? No, for a couple of reasons of Bononi not protecting himself and not being 80-20, whatever. The pin of Darby beating him is the business because it gets Darby back into a class of what have you. Now, storyline-wise, yeah, we want to mix all these guys in and shape this up. But when you step on the end segment, which is the business of getting him back over, now that business don't mean shit, and we're talking storyline. And that storyline is not the business that needed to be done there. Getting Darby back over and remade on bigger guys was the business. The pin and final feeling of that is where we should have left that at the highest point. Then backstage, we can do something. I'm getting word, fans, there's a big brawl in the locker room back there. This guy's trying to fuck him off and, whatever. Like, then we can further that if we need to. But I don't think I know Khan doesn't, but I don't think Cody and those guys still fully understand how to do this yet. And it takes a long time, bro. But unfortunately, you're on TV doing the wrong things, and then people are like, they don't get it,
So before we get into the next segment here with the weigh-in, I just wanted to point out, I thought AEW opened up tonight, the look, modifying it down to one stage, putting some fans in the other areas so you kind of get four different perspectives, essentially eliminating there was a hard cam, but essentially eliminating that need for a hard cam because you can film it from all angles. So I thought production-wise, it looked really good.
Me too.
And then it started to kind of go down here, and it starts with the Cody Rhodes and Anthony Ogogo, production set up itself. So first off, if you have a jib, you got to be good to your fans. You can't put a giant flag, two giant flags in their viewpoint when they're watching the show. That's kind of just seems disingenuous to your quote unquote fans who just came back for the first time in a year. And now they can't see the segment between the American Nightmare Cody and the Anthony Gogo. So that's the first off. Second of all, while I'm not going to crap on Paul White, if they should have rehearsed him trying to do stuff on the scale. Somebody should have practiced with him getting on the scale, or they should have gotten a goddamn digital scale.
No, I like what you're saying there, but no. Here's what they fucked up. The big scale is the visual, and then he's got to be like, stop jumping around, please. Da, da, da. they should have smartened Paul White up and go, Cody weighs 218, he weighs 219. Go out there and fake it on the fucking scale. Instead of like, let me get the shoot weight, because we know it's a work, because even the eye test of Anthony Ogogo next to Cody is way more than 1 pound. Dude, any fucking guy at a carnival would put him at 15 pounds over what Cody is, but then they want to get to this other dumb bullshit that we'll get to. So the problem is not the visual, that they don't even know how to work, because there's such marks for UFC weigh-in, for the fucking Rocky IV moment with the fucking flags, to all that we're going to have a shoot weigh-in and get there, but then we're going to work the numbers. Well, why doesn't Big Show fucking know what the numbers are beforehand, so he doesn't make himself look like an asshole? You can see him getting flustered, sweat just starts pouring. I've been there. Fucking sweat just starts pouring out of you, and then he's like you see everybody going, this segment is sucking, while they're in the fuck. Dude, for us it was a little cringe when you're in those segments. Dude, time slows down to a brutal pace. It never ends. You feel like you're being stabbed over and over again in your brain. It sucks. And this segment was trash, bro.
Well, I mean, first off, I want to give El Generico, the commentator, credit. He was, in the first part of the weigh-in, when he's trying to weigh in Cody and he's struggling there, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross kind of just sit back and they're just laughing kind of. And Generico is at least trying to sell, hey guys, it's live TV, things are always going on. So I was like, at least appreciated him that he was trying to kill that cringe moment. Hey, this is live TV, things happen, blah,
that's
blah.
But that's a problem that we should not have at moments. I mean, he did a good job filling that, but that's everybody. This is the Triple H stuff. It's about my moment. I'm going to wear my Calvin Kleins. I'm going to look a certain way. And the fine details of telling Big Show what the fucking weights are was not handled so Big Show could work it, and is exposed. And JR's burying them on fucking commentary live too, bro. Real rough.
Yeah. So
in the middle of your show, this is turn the channel heat right here, bro. From the guy who wants to be looked at as the fucking pinnacle star. That's like it's like the fucking drunk guy at the party going, hey everybody, watch this, before he jumps into the fucking pool and smashes his face onto the concrete while he does it, let's
run naked through the streets, right?
Yeah. Hey everybody, watch me, the famous last words, right? So then to make it even worse, we get the bullshit. He's 219, he's 218. Then pass the mic to QT, who, hey, you thought this part was bad? Hold my fucking beer. Hey, he weighs 1 more pound. You know what that means? Anthony Ogogo is going to be totally dominant in this fight. Now get up and do a bouye spot. Does everybody like my Tony Soprano knockoff shirt? Remember, they want to do Sopranos with me, everybody. He's going to win. Hey, everybody, I said he's going to win. Boo. Now Cody gets up. Yay! We're now doing house show bouye, which isn't the worst choice with fans back for the first time in this segment. It's not the worst choice. Worst possible setup and delivery to get them there, though. Dude, and here's the other part. Hey, everybody who's paid us $4,500 in Power Wash DDP Yoga, you're going to be in this scene too. Come on out. We're all Team Nightmare. Oh, people say we're smaller than WWE wrestlers. Well, check out our students who are even smaller than us. Did you see one person walk out where you're like, God damn, that dude's got money written all over him? Not I. The only person I saw with money written on him was Gold Dust.
I was corrected in the chat room. It's Excalibur, whatever, El Generico, guy in a mask on commentary. That shouldn't be in a mask on commentary.
Yeah, he's pulling focus. That's the problem. But dude, this segment just went from bad to worse. And then at the end, we got our whole crews out there. No breakdown, no brawl. It was just da-da-da-da. And fucking Anthony Ogogo even has to fucking kick his own socks and shoes out of the ring and go back for him because he's not a wealthy wrestler. Ric Flair would leave a Rolex and fucking gaiters and a goddamn Ralph Lauren suit in the fucking ring, rip it to shreds because he's got 1,000 more.
Cody threw his shit into the crowd.
Back for his fucking shoes. We just look like welfare bums, bro. This segment was awful.
Yeah, Cody throws his stuff into the crowd. Just to break it down. Let me just break this down, though. Paul White.
So Cody's walking around with just underwear backstage the rest of the show?
No, he's Cody Rhodes. He's got his own private locker room where he's got his own suits. He's ready to go.
Dude, wow.
So Paul White came out. He hosted this. White says he was there to make sure it stayed serious. You mentioned a go-go. Marshall came out. Marshall came out looking like Tony Soprano knockoff, cut a promo. Big Show says, shut up, get in the ring. He introduces him, introduces Cody. They both come out to big parades and families, and the big deal. White then calls them to be calm at the pay-per-view. Cody weighs in. He struggled with that. Then Anthony Gogo weighed in. You already mentioned 1 pound more. And then it ends with them all, posing. And Cody takes the mic, thanks White for hosting, tells the fans they'll see them at the pay-per-view, and throws his stuff into the crowd. There you go. So that was the end of that. Video package hypes up the upcoming Stampede.
I wish Sil was here for that one.
So the video package hypes, that's why he's not here this weekend. The video package hypes the upcoming Stadium Stampede match between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. If Inner Circle loses, they have to disband. They show some clips from the first match there. We go to them Powerhouse Hobbs and Christian Cage. They're battling back and forth backstage. Cage gets sent into some equipment, launches Hobbs into the fence, smacks Hobbs into the midsection. They both smack some equipment back and forth. And then I like this. And he ends with him spearing with them separating the refs and everybody separate him.
Yeah, as bad as that segment before was, this was good, real violence.
Yeah, it felt real.
Yeah, and then he fucking hits him with the whatever
ashtray.
The fucking ashes go flying all over the Jaguars' big head thing. I was like, somebody's got heat because somebody's gonna have to clean that fucking shit up. Yeah, but that was believable and real. I liked that violence backstage with Hobbs and Christian, man, especially as a palate cleanser of what I just watched before that.
Yeah, it was good. And I thought, Christian Cage, of course, anytime you're going to work with that guy, he's going to make everything look good. So him leading Hobbs in that scene, I think that it worked really well.
Sure.
Taz joined commentary next up as we got Hangman Page taking on Joey Janela. So we knew that there was going to be something to happen at the end of this. So
this match was a problem.
So, I'll let you break down the match. I want to comment something on the end, which I thought was really interesting. Now, there's two sides to this ending here. So, or as far as the fallout and everything, first off is the human in me is going, holy fuck, dude, Adam Page got cut open. Somebody get the guy a towel or something so he can at least hold it down or something. But then I'm also thinking he's a wrestler, so he's not going to do that. He doesn't want to.
He must have been watching. He must have been watching him.
On the road.
I'm on the road currently in Hamin. I can hear you talking shit all the way from here. You look stoned as fuck. Boys, it's good to see you on an early Saturday morning. What's up?
Good to see you too, man. I just buried the shit out of that fucking weigh-in segment, man. And I mean, obviously the Cody and Show, ultimate respect, but dude, it just went from, it was one of those things, you've been a part of them, I have. It's a slow stab in the chest while you're in there and you feel it slipping away, like your vision is just dying and it's just going from bad to worse. And then we end on boo yay, and woof, it was a stinker, man, for sure.
What'd you think about Cody and the underwears?
Well, of course you got to show the Calvin Kleins, but then he throws his shit into the crowd, and Anthony Ogogo is getting his own gear. Like I can't afford to lose these shoes. Everyone looked rotten, bro.
We got a dual running happening here.
Yeah, there it is.
What up, boys?
How's it going, Jenna? Good?
Good. Got my eyes trying to focus, but hi.
Yeah. Be safe on the road. We miss you guys. We did this weekend, but now we got you, so we're pumped to be back. I don't know.
Muscle Beach, baby.
Are you going to throw it down? Nice. I was watching you throw some kicks the other day. I don't know if I agree with all that USA wear you got on there. I might have to.
I'm America strong. This is. America.
She's MAGA side today.
That's it. That was all they had. They're driving to the mountains. Might have a little bit of technical difficulties. I was going to ask her if she had her best friend here with her there in the car. I saw her Instagram and see if we can get a runner from her. But
yeah. I don't want to put any heat on any NXT from out there, man. But if we got to stop someplace with it, I guess it's better to be focused on the lovely genocide instead of El Silvio.
What a screenshot on her.
But yeah, it looks like we might have lost him, so I'll boot him.
So what I was gonna say was, like the fan of me, it was like, wow, that's crazy. Adam Page badass, but as he's a human, I'm like, God damn, this guy's fucking cut open. Somebody get this motherfucker a towel or something because he's bleeding profusely. But that was
he got in the hairline gig and it might have been deep. Those can bleed a lot, and that's kind of how you want it. Like that's almost the perfect place to get color, or right above your eye, or right on the hairline, because there's not a lot of meat there. It's easy to gaff.
fucking bleeding.
Yeah, but I don't think it was supposed to. But here's the problem with this show, man. Cesar Bononi versus fucking Darby. Who's going over?
Darby.
Adam Page versus fucking Janela on paper. Who's going over?
Hangman Page or
Miro versus
Dante guy.
Dante from Nowhere. Who's going over?
Miro.
Right. Like this is not A-level booking, you know what I mean? So I just don't want to gloss over the fact of why these shows are not. If a segment goes bad, so be it. Like that, there's nothing we can completely do with that. But when you have a show like this where you have match after match after match where anybody can circle and knows who's going over, that's not good booking of a show right there.
Do you feel like here at the end of the match, after the match, and they have Brian Cage get in and Hangman Page calls out how, I know what you guys are going to do. You're going to try to attack the ring, blah, yada, yada. Do you feel like, though, there was an audible called at that point, or that was the plan to not have them interact? Because I feel like right afterwards, Adam Page looked right at the camera, eyes open. He went, wow, this must be a really deep cut. So I don't think he even knew how big his cut was. So I don't know. I was maybe thinking they called an audible there because maybe he was just bleeding too much. They were like, well,
I don't think they got the skills to do that, to have, what's Taz's kid's name? Hook, do the run in and whatnot, So I think that was planned. It's just the color wasn't planned.
Right.
And I think he got it, dude, because there was one fucking face bump that he took into the ring post, but it overshot it and he hit, even though their turnbuckles are wrapped. I think it was on that. Page came in like a missile, bro, and took that. I was like, whoa, that was a sick fucking, it was drop toe or just a bypass on a spear or something like that. But I think it might have been on that because he went in like a rocket. But he should have put Joey Janela away way faster than this. I will say I was thankful Joey Janela takes a chop and sells away to the next fucking rope, which some people just stay in there to back and forth, which you get hit. You're not going to stay in the pocket, bro. You get the fuck out of there. I got to use a little bit more selling from him, but all the shit that he got on Hangman made him look too strong. Hangman should have beat him. If we could have shaved some time off a match, 4 minutes off of this would have been nice because he's just way over. And people want to see the money on Hangman. It's Hangman versus Miro is the money, is what I think. You know what I mean? That's where we need to go with it. But that's not really getting set up at all with Team Taz, and he was with fucking Dark Order, and now he's not. So there's a lot of different things that they're just not doing to make Hangman shine the most. And then Joey Janela gets color on him. It's like, well, he takes him that long to beat Joey Janela. How long is it going to take him to beat, top guys with belts? So.
Yep, and of course, we had that running there, Chris Silvio. You can go to ProWrestlingTees.com, Superstar Chris Silvio. If you're in the Tampa, Florida area, you can go to the Seidel Dojo and get trained, just like Blake Droop. He's right there right now getting trained behind Chris Silvio. So go check that out, as well as check out The Genocide on NWA Power each and every week.
Yeah, and check out NXT as well for best friends.
Our best friends.
Well, not the best friends of AEW, but best friends of Genocide. Give her a follow.
Post-match, Taz gets on the mic.
Muscle Beach photos going up here soon. They're jacked, and it's Team Jacked and Sexy headed to Muscle Beach. They're going to be fucking gramming it.
So Cage comes out of the ring post-match, jumps on the mic, tells Taz to shut up. He says that they've done the same thing month after month. Taz jumping him from behind. Page says he expects that Taz and his son were going to come out, but Page says that Cage thinks he needs these guys to fight. But Page says to leave these assholes out of it, fight him like a man at the pay-per-view. And Cage ends his promo and rebuttal with, who better than Cage, especially better than Page. I like that. I was like, oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah, Cage looked good here.
Yeah. So they ended that, and then we go. And this is where we get the weirdest blunder I have seen. And now maybe I missed it. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they were like, when we come back, we're going to go to this, but they did not, because there would have at least been a graphic and the audio would have been muted to try and promote this. But they're like, we're going to go to this Moxley and Kingston. They go to it, plays 3 seconds. We go to like a Carl's Jr. snippet or whatever, and then we came back and they showed the promo. It's like they went to commercial to break or early or something like that. Or
I think they were going to commercial right after that seg, and they jumped the gun on it.
Yeah.
I would have come back from commercial with that, but yeah, everybody's like, here we are, dude. More amateur hour at the Apollo with fucking production guys getting heat, man. Whether it's Jericho's bump off the top, not having it the right way, fucking pyro for the explosion match. There was something else that was rough and rugged too in the last month or so.
I don't know.
You were hot about it, but yeah, I mean, like this is a consistent on each show that sticks out,
Technical director. I'm just hot about camera angles and shots like that. Somebody not appropriately running the board and breaking the 90-degree rule when they had the female match and they just showed the crotch shot. Right, it was a horrible shot to pull out from. Why don't you just go to a different angle? Anyway, yeah. There's been some questionable errors on the production side. Certainly something, again, and I don't want to keep putting over Line Tigers, Bear, and Disco, but they had this argument on a recent episode where Disco and Vince both pointed out the difference between AEW and WWE is WWE has a full-scale movie production company to make their stuff, and AEW is trying to make movies on middle school equipment.
Well, and they're trying to do that using DDP's staff.
That's a good point as well. I mean, and no shame to DDP staff.
No.
If I had to guess, I'd say DDP staff is probably commercialized video editors. They've gone to school. They learned how to video edit and cut stuff. I know how to do as well. But unless you're actively, as you like to say, exercising that creative mindset of the brain, you fall into that trap of being comfortable, and you're just doing whatever you need to do to get through the show or whatever you know how to do. And they're not learning and growing as a production team. There should be production meetings. How did we fuck up last
week?
You're
looking for your boss, and he's up on the upper deck cutting a promo on Nick Khan instead of getting his show ready to fucking go.
But aside from that, somebody on that production team needs to take charge and say, well, let's review what we fucked up last week so we don't have to do it again this week. Whether that's just the TD and the director, and then they can at least give out directions properly the next time. But they're not even doing that, it seems. That's just from our opinion, from how we're looking outside in.
I agree. And, stack on a racist fucking... the funniest part of that is it's the Latino announce team making fun of fucking Japanese, so you can't blame white people, and then fucking the Latinos can be made of fun of because of their accent as well. And we didn't know that there was all this Japan and Latino fucking heat under the surface of it all. Like, I fucking love this shit, bro. That makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah. Well, after that after the Kingston and Moxley, they said the Young Bucks have sneakers that they stole, so it's time to get serious. As we mentioned, we cut to the Burr commercial. We're back. Moxley says that he would go to war with Kingston, and at the pay-per-view, it will be a war. Moxley says he needs those tag belts. Moxley admits the Young Bucks might be a well-oiled machine, but he wants those titles. Kingston says it's going to happen because the Young Bucks are going to quit. They've already quit on the people, and the pressure is coming on Sunday. So definitely, they've kind of seemed to have definitely made that transition into this babyface tag team, which I'm okay with in their own style and way. But that you have the little cheesy line in there that you threw in there. You gave up on the people. I hate cliches like that. Like, it's 2021 where most of your audience, as you mentioned, is 18 to 49 demographic. You don't need to talk to us like that. Like, you gave up on your people.
Yeah. I wanted them to do more with the shoes. I thought it'd been cool if they built like when I was watching. It would have been good there if they had like a mold or something that they were gonna unfucking show, like that they put the shoes in there and put concrete in it, like they did with Vince's Corvette, and then you see some pillar post with like the shoes sticking out of it. You know what I mean?
Having they got dogs. This is all you just have dogs. You got pre-production, and you just cut the dog shitting in the shoe, right?
Or ripping them up, anything like
yeah.
Go fetch and they fucking go, which is not what you want to teach your dog to do, because they'll fuck your shoes up. But there is a lot better choices to disrespect their gear. But Mox and Kingston at least have a great chemistry that comes through. And that's what I was talking about on Next Level Review. We had promos from Thatcher and fucking Ciampa, and what they're saying is good enough, but we're not seeing, it's just like I say it and then you say it. We're not seeing the relationship between the two, which is what we really want to see, that not the words that are coming out. That's what really attracts us to it. And with Mox and Kingston, it's all right. We do get to see it, you know, a lot more in the way they go back and forth and kind of trade bars like jazz musicians. So that's a big note of doing a 2-person scene in wrestling. It's more about the relationship between you and the person in the scene, and that the words of what you're trying to convey are secondary. We need to find the game so people can connect to us that way emotionally.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. Well, let's go
to kind of happened later on NXT with the Grizzled Vets. Like, both of them have an interesting look and delivery, but they're just looking at the camera and they're not going back and forth to like show why they're friends, why they're together.
Right.
You know?
There's no emotional connection between the characters.
But then on that same show, we had Walter and the Imperium guys, and Walter's talking to him via, you know, teleconference, and we're getting the voyeur aspect of that back and forth, and that scene really worked. So, you know, in developmental and AEW, we're kind of getting it, but they fly close to the sun, but they don't really know why it works. Sometimes they'll get it, and then they don't understand how they captured that magic.
Well, following that, we then got another interaction with our good friend Tony Schiavone as he comes out to the ring with Orange Cassidy, or he comes out to talk about Orange Cassidy and he'll defer his title shot or not. So for those who may have missed it last week, Kenny Omega offered Orange Cassidy the opportunity to get a championship opportunity in the future if he deferred it, basically making his match with Pac one-on-one instead of a three-way match. Pac comes out, though.
Good scene last week when they were in the doctor's office with him.
Yeah, so Pac comes out and tells Tony to get out. He cuts a great promo about how Omega.
Tony, get the fuck out. Like, nobody wants Tony Schiavone in their scene, bro. I want Tony Schiavone in every one of my scenes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the thing now. Pac says Omega has been ducking and dodging his whole title reign. It's been pathetic. Calls out Omega. Callis gets up on the break screen, tells Pac he's a dangerous person. They want nothing to do with him, and kind of makes it appear like, oh, we're not going to come out there. But then Kenny Omega comes out from behind and attacks him. And then the Good Brothers run out and swing away on Pac. Lucha Brothers, of course, come out and make the save for Pac. Now we're left again with Pac and Kenny. Now Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends come out. Orange Cassidy Superman punches Pac, then he Superman punches Kenny Omega, and then he holds up the title, gives a thumbs up, and that's how it ends. So apparently, I'm sorry, he also gave Kenny an envelope where the contract was ripped up.
That's up and shredded in there.
He proceeded the Superman punch. Sorry.
Yeah, a lot to get through, you know, here, and you go, and you go, and you go. Now save and dip, and I'll be on the screen and do that. Like, it's just like, okay. It wasn't bad. I like Pac's delivery. Pac looks like a fucking, you know, perfect technical wrestler that you'd want on your roster. The guy looks fucking unbelievable, and he cuts a good promo. It's just what he's saying doesn't really have the teeth that we need it to. You know what I mean? And we need to do something show, don't tell. How is Pac not the guy that's laying out Kenny Omega?
Yeah, it was weird that Orange was the one left standing, which I guess by wrestling terminology, then we know Orange isn't going to go over on the pay-per-view, right?
Right, exactly. So, again, more predictability. You know, this scene wasn't bad, though. I didn't really mind it. They got through it where it could have really not flowed. It had flow with the run-ins and whatnot, and the visual of the ripped-up contract, and that's what AEW fans pop for, and they did.
You know, I fancy myself a guy who likes to, you know, expand his cultural views when watching media and content. And I find myself watching a lot of YouTubers, you know, who speak with a very either harsh or thick English accent. I want to say that Pac, at least over the last year, probably didn't have to work too much on his body because he continues to stay in shape. But he definitely worked on his enunciation. And I noticed it in this promo when he was talking, especially when he got to the tail end and he hit the punchline. It was very clear and thorough. So again, that's just credit to the man's work. Like, he's just constantly evolving himself and making sure he can be at the top of the game.
Well, if you put in that much work on your body, you know what work ethic is. And, I'm sure a highly intelligent individual and a guy who's paid all the dues, taken all the bumps, and put up with all the bullshit in wrestling to get to this point. I hope they give him the shine like they should. I think he's a believable dude to beat Omega, with a Orange Cassidy slip on the banana peel setup spot into some extreme violence. And fucking, I think Pac isn't a bad choice to go over on him, but I think they're going to keep it on Omega.
Well, following that, we got a backstage segment, but this time where they let Tony stay in the scene. This is with Jade Cargill. So Cargill is backstage talking about, or Tony announces to her that her match, her open challenge had been accepted, but she gets interrupted by Matt Hardy wanting her to join the group. But then Mark Sterling jumps in and says that he's already been selected by Cargill and says that he's going to be working pro bono. He only makes money if Cargill wins the match. He tells Hardy that if he keeps bothering her, he's going to slap him with the restraining order. And Sterling notes his payment style is way different than Hardy, as he only gets paid if she wins. Now, here's the problem with this, Ben. Like, I'm okay with the guy being the manager, but if you're not watching Impact Wrestling, which less than 100,000 people were, this guy just came out of nowhere. And if you don't listen to the Zack Ryder podcast and his buddy there, and Cardona and
Hawkins,
I'm sorry, Ryder Hawkins. You don't listen to the Ryder Hawkins podcast, you don't know that this is the third guy who hosted with him. So this guy, over the last month, has just kind of showed up on AEW, and he's now the manager, which I'm okay with if they had just kind of given more of that backstory. This guy represented the Virtuosa. Now I'm going to represent you. Give some sort of like backstory or, connection for the audience to make, rather than just some random guy if you don't know who he is. I mean, you can talk well.
I think I agree with you 100%. He definitely can get it over, talks well, and what he's doing. Did they do one of their famous AEW darks to fucking and being the elite? That's how he got over, and we just don't know about it. But, we could do better establishing here, especially if he's going to come in big league Matt Hardy. He needs a...
Yeah, who the fuck are you? That's what I'm thinking. Like,
he needs to be built up as a power player, And
no disrespect to Mark Sterling, but, Matt Hardy, Mark Sterling, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on. It's just
Matt Sterling could be a power player and use the lawyer stuff to his advantage. It's just we haven't set up that story the right way yet.
And also, I mean, if you're going to have Mark Sterling go over there and do this cross thing, why didn't we see something on Impact? Like, you know what? They sent all those people over there. Mark, I'm going to send you over there. You're going to be my inside stooge or something. You know what I mean? Like,
they're not trying to do any business, especially at the level for him. If they're not bringing Sami Callihan, Rich Swann, and Moose over, what the fuck chances Mark Sterling have of getting a big introduction?
Yeah, well, if you want more Impact information, you can go check out the Impact Attack, which is up on the Hamin Media Group YouTube right now with the Vet and Colin Weisong. And preceding this episode of Light the Fuse, you can also stay on Hamin Media Group YouTube as the Smack Attack. Money McIver and John Enright will be here. So pretty much when we're done, just hang out on YouTube. We're going to keep talking to him. Just enjoy it. So as we mentioned, Jade Cargill tells Shoni Shivani that Mark Sterling is her new manager. We then go to the match. It was a quick match against Kylan.
Put it on paper. Who's going over here?
Jade Cargill.
On what's the young lady's name? Let's make sure we give
Kylan
her
King.
Kylan King. And she looked pretty competent, she
debuted a year ago. She actually did appear at a Double or Nothing. This is I believe Jargo would probably have more information on her. I think he's a fan of hers. I've heard him talk about her.
Yeah. And she was in shape and she was hitting the cross bodies and everything how she should. I thought her fundamentals were pretty sound, especially working with somebody as green as Jade. Jade, once the bell rings, the fear set in and you could see it. She wasn't, even when she came out and she was strutting around the ring, I see, green girl stuff or green performer stuff. I don't want to put on girls. She thinks she's larger than life. And the way it feels is not necessarily, let's see here.
What do we got? What's going on here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Update. Oh, okay.
But like she's got her arms out and it feels big how we normally would be in real life. And if you can't see me, I guess I'll try and pull back here. Ooh, like this, right? She's like, well, whatever, bitch. When we need to be out here because on camera, it looks right. And she's not as much as time she spent on her own body when it comes to acting wise. we'll do these things where we have anchors, like where our elbows will be tucked into our sides, or we have happy feet. Somebody had happy feet real bad in a promo on SmackDown. I can't remember who it was, but they just kept touring all over the fucking. Oh no, it was actually Jericho. Jericho had happy feet in the fucking not Pinnacle. What are they? Fucking Inner Circle promo.
Yeah.
Where he was doing the box step. I've seen people do that. They'll fucking keep box stepping around. I've been a little guilty of that. So there's definitely some acting 101 classes where I would make her do her whole entrance with her arms above her head. As ridiculous as it sounds, right. That's how we break the psychological patterns of being here. So I would play a game called an improv called Big Gay Nerd, where it's be as stupid as you can, be as nerdy as you can, be as uncomfortable in your body that you would normally wouldn't do, and how big can you make yourself and whatnot, and then tie a verbal sound to it that's abstract. You know what I mean? And that's a way to get people to start breaking those habits of being comfortable in my body. She doesn't even realize she's doing it. Gets through the match, I can see that she's like, holy shit, I'm out here having to toe the line, and this is like my 10th match, so I get it. But then as soon as the bell rings and she wins, boom, she hits character and she's right back on it, and she's confident because the nerves are gone from the entrance leading into the match. So after the win, when we want to see her and that's the impression we're leaving, she really does get it in emoting and getting whatever the baddest bitch character is across a bit. So if we can carry that momentum, put it on the front end and give her that confidence, I'm sure she can do it as a pro athlete that she is, and more reps are just going to get her better. I think she's a perfect person for him. Like you said, with him coming from Impact, he should have the forbidden door open, her working over there with Havoc, her working with ODB, working with, what's that?
She should be lined up with Moose. I mean, you got two powerhouse athletes.
Sure. But then she gets reps with Jordan Grace. Girls who are better than her in the ring are going to help her improve that much more rapidly. So there's opportunity for her to get more reps as long as she's not doing dumb shit that can get her hurt to take her off AEW TV. But she's a blue chipper. She's going to get it. It just takes time.
Canada Spaceman says Killing King is probably going to be Molly Holly type, putting everyone else over, but never a megastar herself. And I just, interestingly enough, recently Molly Holly, there was like an interview, and she noted that I think she was with WWE main roster, total time up there about 5 years. And she said in that 5-year experience, she did not talk to Vince McMahon once until like probably on her way out, thanking him for the opportunity and whatnot. So found that to be an interesting thing. And you guys can find out more stuff that's interesting like that if you subscribe to russobrand.com. You can listen to Lions, Tigers, Bears, Disco. You can also listen to the Raw and SmackDown review.
Team Titties and Biceps.
And you can sign up for $4.95 a month. And also patreon.com/RussoTWC. And you can get Master Shoot Theater.
That's how I like them, pal. Hit you and quit you. Get on out of here.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll be good to go. So sign up there and you can hear all the amazing stuff that I'm pulling information from, because I've been on a Russo Brand binge lately. So
excellent, man. I'm glad we're having a good time with all that stuff, dude.
Well, winner, as we mentioned, Jade Cargill, and was kind of there, right?
Every match on this card, you knew who was going over, but you didn't even need to watch it. When they were billboarding it with the graphic, circle, circle, circle. And when that happens, that's not a bad way to book a show if you're going to pull a trick, because what should have happened in one of those matches is somebody does their classic interruption, and the under guy who you think there's no way they're getting a win, like say the girl Kylan King. Her getting a win here would have been good business to set up whoever Jade Cargill is going to face next. If there was a distraction spot, and Kylan King, everyone's like, dude, Jade's been on the push, she ain't beating her. And whoever their business is that she's going to actually have a feud with, and Kylan King, she turns and Kylan King hits her with a drop kick, knocks her out clean. Now the drop kick's over. She can be beaten, and the other girl's got heat because she fucking caused it, and Kylan King gets a huge win over a top prospect. She might lose the next 3, but she's got that one. And when it comes to Molly Holly or Disco Inferno. Who gives a fuck? You got a job for 5 years. This is a phony business. You put people over and make them look good if that's your fucking job. My job's to get heat to make a baby face. You know what I mean? And sometimes play chicken shit. Sometimes play the fucking nightmare maker that will come take your fucking kids in the middle of the night and hold them for ransom if that's what needs to be. Like, there's all different scopes of my character depending on what the business is. But, you know, you gotta set it up the right way so people care. You could have done multiple business and gotten her over and swerved the crowd to be like, holy shit, she beat Jade Cargill, but this bitch caused it. That's way more important than any win or loss. But average run in WWE is 5 years from the time you get signed up to the main roster until you're gone. If you make it longer than that, you consider yourself having a successful run.
Well, shout out to the chat room here with us live. I saw earlier, it's like 35 people strong. So we appreciate y'all joining us in here. Also, there's some conversation I've seen, and I'm going to bring this up right now because it's going on in the chat room, about Russo's internet bill. Guys, as someone who lives in Denver, I just want to let you know, okay, $80 is the 1 gigabyte speed. $100 is the 2 gigabyte speed. So Russo's getting the fastest speed, and that's just for internet. And then, you know, he's probably got his TV and he talks about getting sold on stuff. He probably got sold on the quad play bundle, guys. He's probably getting TV, internet, phone, and security. All right. And he's probably getting all 4. But that's the bulk of that $100 is internet, because the internet they rape you over the coals out here for Xfinity for that internet.
Well, that's because we've put the beating on them, stealing all their shows at swatchseries.ru, ofta.info, fucking vipbox.nu, watchwrestling.la, fucking sportsbay.org, because they raped us for years. So now we're just getting back over as Generation X internet pirates, and they're going to go, oh, you're taking that and you're not getting cable anymore? Well, we're going to raise the internet to what the cable price was. So this is just the back and forth work of corporate greed in the media industry.
Yeah, they and it's also Colorado, very high cost of living, which is why I'm looking at transferring within this company so I can make the same money and keep it. But speaking of trying to keep themselves, you know, on TV and relevant, Dante Martin apparently is one of his last 8 matches on Dark. Had no idea, but he's taking on Miro for the TNT Championship. As he mentioned, circle, dot. Miro got his cootie shot because he was here to wrestle Dante in a quick match. Let him get over a couple moves, but wasn't in a dominating fashion. I was hoping to see Miro just come out there and ragdoll him. Like, just throw them around the ring, play with them, laugh with them. Ha, ha, ha. I wanted to see that.
Should have got nothing. Should have got nothing on Miro, bro. Especially pumping him up. 8 wins. Well, when Miro kills the kid with 8 wins, Miro's a fucking monster, isn't he?
Can you give, I know you were not happy with Miro's camel clutch a couple weeks ago. What did you think of last night's?
If last week's was a D-, then this was about a C-.
Upgrade better. He had the hands on the chin, right?
Yeah, he locked it, but then he doesn't lock it in and show that back. And then when he does, he lays out and the guy's there. This is the lock for the clutch. All right. Or fucking under here and pulling back. And then he just fucking pulls back on the guy to pin himself again, like he's vicious and not doing it. But when he does that, we lose the visual of his face and the kid's face. Now he's pinning himself. Now the referee has to get himself over and break it up. So the ref is stronger than Miro, and Miro's scared of the ref and all that shit. That falling back bullshit of it's bad. It's not. It should not be in there. Especially a guy who's faced John motherfucking Cena at WrestleMania, bro, should know that this is where his money is. So getting the kid in the gimmick and holding it there and going, and fucking in the camera is what is way more important than leaning back like he's breaking the dude's spine and the ref is able to call him off and shit. Like, that's phony as fuck. So he's still not even getting one of the easiest finishers to get over that's been established over the right way. If he wants to do something after the fucking bell is wrong and steal my shit, I don't give a fuck, like, because I stole it from the Sheik. But he's got it underhooked on their chin. Kid taps out. Then you grab meat chop. You grab my fucking face and hair. And has anybody seen this lately? No. See Sheamus stealing my shit, the smile maker with double hooks in? That's it. And then ref, come on, da, 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 da. And then he fucking throw him down and you get in the ref's motherfucking face and go, shut the fuck up. I do what I want here. But if you're laying on your back, you're not going to get up off the ground, get in the fucking ref's face. You don't have the opportunity to push the guy to the ground, leave him at your feet, standing over him, which is a thing you can do right out of the clutch. Like all these visuals. So this guy, as long as he's been in the biz, still don't get it, bro. And that's his finisher and he can't get it on the right way. We got problems because he looks like a fucking the best dude on their roster.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like to me, if he's going to try to be unique, and I mean, not even be the best, but at least if we could try something, maybe fall to the side. Because then you fall to the side, then at least the camera guy on opposite side can get that visual. Because unless you got a drone shot, how are you going to get that visual from above, like you're saying, when he's pulling back, right?
Right. It doesn't. And then when he pulls back, he doesn't switch grips to like make it more vicious or anything like that. So for the shooter mauler, it's it's whatever. The other thing that popped me, the kid's obviously a very light-skinned, I guess in black culture they call him red bone. And a good-looking little baby face. But the kid's lighter skinned than me, and he's got a fucking BLM gimmick on. And then meanwhile, we got fucking old boy on commentary doing fucking so we're so fucking hypocritical of how woke we are. It's laughable.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And then we step on this business with Murder Hawk coming out with Jake Roberts, and Jake Roberts does a fucking on Miro. Thinking, I don't talk that shit. Ting tong.
He could have at least gone into like a Russian accent and make fun of or something like this.
It wasn't. It was like a fucking
beat your ass.
It popped me, bro. I love fucking overt stereotypical racism. I think it's hilariously fucking stupid and funny. We should all be making fun of ourselves in every way possible.
Miro won. Did you want to talk about anything else here with the post-match stuff? You're talking about Archer.
Like even this is fucked up because then Murder Hawk runs in like he wants some. Finally, we're gonna get it. Miro gets beaten, powdered, but Murder Hawk's got the belt. Miro gives him the fucking Iggy of like, I need my belt. I need to leave with my belt. So you don't leave it because he left it in the ring. So Murder Hawk's got the belt and he goes and throws it down to Miro right at him. Like I've seen this on indie shows too happen. So there's just so many things that are like in the moment of these segments that are supposed to be the acting segments that are botches that maybe a viewer at home doesn't know it. But if you are going for the belt and to beat the guy, you'd never throw the belt to the fucking guy. But Miro was calling for it, and Murder Hawk obliged him. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes me fucking home.
I thought it was funny that I watched AEW and then I went online, and this was before Dynamite even happened. GGP posted a tweet, a picture about being champion, and one of the things was you never throw down the belt, you never disrespect the belt. So he put this whole thing out, and then I watched Dynamite, and I was like, GGP would be really hot if you watched this last night.
And me and GGP got to fight for every booking we get. Meanwhile, these kids who pay $4,500 in power wash to be on TV, or guys who get to face Cena and should know it fully, the ins and outs to even get close to that spot, are still making rookie mistakes. You know what I mean? Now think about being like people are like, oh, you're bitter and grizzled. I mean, I'm thankful for every moment I've had in this business, but when you know you're 5-6 times the pro that these fucking people who have these spots are, and then combine that double on me with creative team, bro, it's enough to make you want to go postal. Like it's disturbingly bad enough for the fans to have to watch bad segments. Now sit there and be a worker knowing you could have delivered, or a creative or a director, tech director who wouldn't have made those fucking mistakes. And you're just like, how do these people retain their jobs week after week and ruin a business that I love? It's maddening.
Up next, another interview with Tony Schiavone. He introduces AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida as they honor her year-long reign. She receives the new Women's Championship, which looks better. It looks bigger, better. Doesn't look like a plastic toy now.
She is beautiful, by the way. I want to really say how much of a absolute if you're going to put a poster, I would say, poster child up there, I guess, as far as that, like she really could be a great PR asset for the brand as well, man. But just make sure the Spanish announce team isn't introing her.
Well, shooting Cobra Kai season 4, they can always cast somebody, right? Who probably knows how to fight and, get cross both boundaries as far as nationalities go. Well, she introduces him. She takes mic, starts to talk about how there's no fans in attendance. It was an honor tonight. They're back. I like this was the feel good moment. She says that, that all this title's for all the fans. That she was happy to see them all back. So I kind of like this. I was like, oh, this is nice. This is what I was waiting. This is what we should have gotten at the beginning of the show.
100%.
Right? This promo. This is what we needed to start off the show.
Could have got Khan over as a babyface too, helping present that. Shida, we want to say that you have been an unbelievable women's champion. We're very proud of you. And this is how we want to honor you here. He could have got over instead of talking shit like a tough guy. What happens when Nick Khan and Tony Khan come face to face and Nick Khan whoops fucking Tony Khan's ass in a shoot? It's just like you hear about it and somebody gets it on fucking TikTok cam.
Coming next week, we're going to see Tony Khan and, Eric Bischoff was there. So we're going to see Tony Khan in a Taekwondo outfit. Come on, Nick, come to AEW. Let's do this.
Good stuff. But yeah, Shida shined until Britt Baker comes out and gets her stuff over to set up. That was good business. Like if you're talking business, the heel stepping on a babyface scene definitely gets her over. And people, like, what I would worry about is that Britt Baker's so beautiful and good at what she's doing right now that there's a danger that Britt's going to get cheered by these smart marks. So to set Shida up the way they did with the gold, the beautiful dress, the smile, she looks like she's in great shape. She's been putting in reps in the gym. She looks very strong, especially upper body and triceps. I was like very good form. And, not hitting you over the head too much with the Japanese culture stuff. But I thought she looked like if you were to imagine a, Japanese beauty queen in 2021. Like I think she had a lot of that there as well, which usually we don't see her as that. So this was good. And then to set all that up, boom, you hit Britt's music and there was heel heat there. I don't think there was a chance for them to cheer Britt. So this was probably one of the best segments on the show.
I would agree. If you were going to punch up a couple things, let me ask. First off, Colin makes a good point here. They totally made this belt for Britt to win. So by setting it up this way, don't we expect now this Sunday for Britt Baker to beat Shida, take the title?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And baby faces 90% of the time are better chasing it.
Right.
So Britt has earned that after that fucking barbed wire match they did, bro. Like I think that solidified. You got to put it on her.
Did they need to have the new title, though? I guess maybe introduced. They still could have honored Shida, but did they need to have a new title? I guess is that giving it away?
Yeah, because you don't want to fucking do that with a heel unless the heel's like, fuck this. They could. The heel could be like, fuck this belt. I'm getting a belt that's way better than this one. But then the baby face is gonna want that heel belt. So I think it's better. There's way more heat in making it for Shida and having the heel take it from her. And then I would go a full year with Britt to get to that fucking point, but we'll see with injury and whatever else.
Do you think she could have used something different historical to recognize? She said the last era was about 316 and this era is about DMD. Could she have pulled something like, the last time the women's revolutionized wrestling, it was on MTV, making that call back to the 80s, right? With, how the rock and roll wrestling connection there versus actually saying 316 and maybe then, and now I'm bringing it forward with DMD or something like that. Versus
I guess like 316, like why would you reference Austin if you don't got him?
That's what I'm saying.
You don't got him, so why do that? There's a better way to. I mean, she is putting herself alongside the greats of what have you, but
that's what I'm saying. She could have put herself alongside that rock and roll great. I think maybe that would have connected more and made more sense with the theme from a female wrestling perspective. I guess
it's not a bad choice.
That's kind of what
there's so many choices. I'm trying to stop saying thing. If I see something that's really wrong, I'm gonna go wrong. But there's Baskin Robbins 31 flavors.
It just felt like back-to-back nights. Khan talking about the con men in Connecticut. Now she's talking about Austin 316. we don't need. It just kind of didn't.
If I was going to do something bang bang, I would say, you don't worry. You got to worry about being the man because I'm already the doctor.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, like take a shot at Becky Lynch and them. Like, what is she going to pay off with Austin and get your covert shit in?
That was good. I like that. We get.
I don't got to be the man or the queen because I'm the doctor.
Right. Exactly.
I'll fucking bury Charlotte and fucking her at the same time.
Right. Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, took on Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. This was I liked this match. I mean, of course, the Smash Bros are fucking awesome tag team.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the first times we've seen them in a while on TV. So it was good. They held them off. So like, it was good to see them on TV. And this was a good match. I'm
shocked that they made them into Evil Uno and Grayson for the Dark Order, but with AEW's audience being 95% video game addicts, there's more money in Super Smash Brothers than there is in the other, you know what I mean? And to try and get that deal done. I don't mind it, but that's a 2CW throwback to me. These guys been working their fucking asses off on the road for 13 years that I know of, probably, and I'm glad to see them get to do what they do best.
They're going to get signed by WWE. Then they'll get the Super Smash Brother gimmick, but it'll then be Mario and Luigi. They'll have to dress up.
They'll have to fucking dress like that. They won't get it, right? But it did pop for this. I think they're both supposed to scheduled to be on, this might be kayfabe, but on the 2CW show because they are 2CW originals. They were working 2CW heavy against the Briscoes and other tag teams, Punt and Graham and guys like that. And then they got cocked over by Canadian border cross because they were working so much in like 2013, 2014. Yep. So I'm glad that they're back doing what they do absolutely best, dude. Grayson fucking or Player Dose, whatever the fuck, took sick bumps in this, bro. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable and safe, but like, classic, like wow factor. So this was probably the best match.
Match of the night for sure. Mm-hmm. And, as you mentioned earlier, Colt Cabana, he got excited about that Sting thing. He told the story about that on Being the Elite, which was really good, about how he was so excited when Sting, came to AEW and he walked up to Sting. He's like, hey, do you remember that time in the airport? We sat there for 6 hours. We talked about blah, blah, and Sting did not know who he was. So like Colt was ripping on himself and it was funny. So yes, that was a cool moment and the great kind of the little connection.
Colt knows though, man, when he's always got that energy of like a big 8-year-old kind of, you know what I mean? But when Colt goes through the fucking curtain, dude, it's just on him spotlight wise. I don't say he's a fame addict like the way we all are in the rest of this, but like he knows every in the moment is watching, and just that little, all the other shit that went on, a fist bump and watching Colt react made me laugh. The week before, they're all doing some bullshit with a Hangman Page in the foreground and Colt's way in the back, and Colt just like pumped about something. It's those small additive moments that make scene painting perfect. And Colt is absolutely a master at making things fun and knowing when the camera's on him. No, there are no small parts.
Only small.
You know what I mean? Right. So I got to tip my hat to him on all that stuff. Now, the bullshit where all the Stings come out in the mask and then you fucking see Sting and he no-sells a punch to take off his fucking mask. Like, oh, dude, that's as cringy WCW in their worst days. And like,
at least in WCW in their worst days, he had the bat with him. He didn't even have a bat with him in the ring with him. Right?
This is Rosebud bad. This is all bad.
Really? You don't like Citizen Kane? Not to go on a divergent. You don't like that movie, Citizen Kane?
No.
Really?
Do I like Citizen Kane?
The movie, yeah. Rosebud, you know.
Well, no, I mean Adam Rose and the Rosebuds.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I just like, you don't like the original 19.
Oh, yeah, Rosebud. Yeah, obviously, and what was stolen from Wolf of Wall Street and all that. But yeah, dude, this took what was a good match and like flipped it into some wrestle crap instantly.
The movie Citizen Kane, I watched it in 6th grade. It was a great movie. Anyway, commentary then did the whole rundown of the Sunday's AEW card after the fake Stings showed up there that you mentioned. And then we went to surprisingly, I forgot. Like, for some reason, I knew it was taking place in the pay-per-view, but I kept thinking the main event for the night was the Young Bucks. Like, I thought they were going to defend the title, but but then of course, I remembered. Oh, of course, that's right. They're doing Kingston versus Kingston and Moxley. So they set up this inner circle. You might want to call appreciation celebration, which I at this point, the way they're setting up, it looks like they're breaking up. Because this was kind of like their celebration as a team, if you will. Eric Bischoff is the host of the segment, and they announced that Jericho and Bischoff has buried the hatchet. They're friends now. Everything's cool, whatever.
All of this is decent, but it's all cringy. Why? Why does this not really work?
Well, first off, let's start with the fact that I don't know if you caught this, but you had the crowd singing along, and that was cool. But do you know who was in the crowd? There was some wrestlers that were still in the crowd in the front row. Camera cut to it really quick, and it was some BTE people I recognized. The Reverend guy who's been doing the thing with Nyla Rose and Vicky on the show. Sammy Guevara's mask friend who's out there. Really quickly, and I went, and as they were doing it, I went, oh, there's actual fans here. Cool, they're singing out, and there's no wrestlers. Great. And then they cut right to it really quick, and I went, motherfucker. Like,
they got some like older dude with white hair who had a red shirt on like 3 or 4 times during the show too. So he's got to be somebody's uncle or somebody along those lines. I'm not sure who he was.
Did you see that? I thought he was the "It's Still Real to Me" damn it guy. He looked like that guy.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. He's got to be somebody's buddy. But yeah, dude, the problem with this
is very hokey. It was baby faces. It was hokey. Pinnacle didn't interrupt it until the end. Like, it was just, there was no heat going out of it. It felt very like house show. It felt like the end of a house show where you're wrapping stuff up. Okay, guys, thanks for coming. Have a great day. It's the end of our season.
How do you make a baby face?
Make your babies off your heels.
And we started with
babies, and we ended with baby faces.
so we have no heat for babies to get over on. We have guys who are all natural heels acting baby face. Everybody in the fucking Pinnacle's a natural heel too. Maybe not FTR, but the other guys are natural heels. Even as good as Sammy Guevara is, he could be a baby, based on his looks and youth. But we now have all guys who are better as heels pandering.
Yep.
That's the worst thing you can do. Pandering to the fucking crowd to try and get over it. Then you see Jericho with happy feet. And I go, that's where the nervousness is. This guy's way more comfortable getting heat, knowing how to do it. Now he knows all the tricks to get over as a baby, but they're just that. They're tricks that we know are being played on us, pandering, and even LAX trying to get it over. I'm going, these are the fucking most gangster dudes in wrestling, man. Like, it's just not the right spot. So if they do get broken up, then so be it. I think they're going to go over so they get more longevity out of the group together. But
I just wanted to hear all Hernandez and Santana had to say is one of them one of them had to say was click, click, and the other one could have just said bang, bang, and that's it. Yeah. And you would have been like, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
So as baby faces, we need these guys to be cool.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and they're not.
Maybe that's why the inner circle is going to break up, because they know they can't be cool this way.
They can be though, but it's just the fact that we didn't have heels to do the inciting incident to give them a way to be cool and make the heels look like shit.
Well, I see what you're saying. I'm just saying maybe their thought process is based on the characters, what we've done here. We can't make this cool. It's
now a fucking mule with a squirt gun on the top of it, trying to redo the Austin thing in a welfare version. That's not cool. That's fucking Johnny Come Lately and a B+ version of what we already know has been done way better. We need to find something.
Back-to-back weeks of Austin references with the champagne, and then this week with Britt Baker.
You wonder what they're watching on The Cock. Yeah, man, like they're just missing these stunts that we need. Dude, why wouldn't you go get Johnny Knoxville and them to come up with some cool stunts for you to fucking
get filming Jackass 2 right now? That's a great freaking crossover. Bam Margera got kicked out because he's all hopped up on drugs still.
Yeah,
They
that's
tried to give him
fucked
a chance. Yeah, I saw that story.
Yeah, dude, that's what we're missing. We've got all the great players. You telling? I'm not saying shit about any of those guys on either team. They're all fucking awesome. You know what I mean? But if we don't set them up to shine the right way, and they're just going out there to pander, nobody's going to get over. And then we even get a hokey thing with all hands in for the pinnacle, but at the end, like this should have been a show don't tell moment, and we've kind of botched 2 mega moments with Jericho off the cage and then the fucking squirt gun bit with the fucking champagne. So they need to step up budget and imagination.
I was just thinking about it. You're talking about crossover entertainment and how sometimes people don't go well together, right, with groups. We talk about the Dark Order coming out and they're supporting, Darby Allin, right?
Yeah,
Darby Allin.
Supporting fucking Cowboy.
Right, they're supporting Cowboy. Wouldn't it make more sense? We're just talking about this right now. Jackass 2 is out. Darby Allin knows Tony Hawk. All he has to do is call the CYK guys, and they could just fucking come in and back him up, and they do all the crazy stunts anyway, just like Darby Allin.
Didn't they do something early on in AEW with Jackass guys too? I think that's already set up. Am I fucking delusional there? I feel like there was a Steve-O and Chris Pontius fucking thing that they had already done already. So I think it's there, and those are the dudes that I would be like, hey, bro, give me 5 ideas where this group of guys can fucking rib the other fucking dudes. And if you guys want to be in on it as the masterminds, then so be it. We'll help do crossover that way. But what the
fuck? Put that in the movie. Like you make that a part of the filming of Jackass 4, and then everybody gets cross promotion.
I mean, I'm
a marketing agent guy, but whatever.
I haven't been a college professor teaching advertising for 7 years, but whatever.
All right, guys. Well, AEW ends after that with them in the Stampede as they attacked Dean Malenko, that being the pinnacle. They jump up on the screen, they attack Dean Malenko because Dean Malenko is going to be in the match. And, Jericho's friends with Dean Malenko now because they made up after that. Jericho's just going around making amends with everybody.
That's not bad. That part, and they didn't get it over enough.
Right.
But last week with Malenko and him, and Stinko Malenko, and for those who are generational, that was my favorite feud in WCW was Chris Jericho versus Dean Malenko. There's nothing that even came close for what I liked the most there. It made me a Jericho fan forever. But just having Dean laid out there was okay, but I think there's more meat on the bone between Jericho and Malenko and that old school shit. And Serena went to Malenko and got permission to do a Woman of 1,000 Holds. That's her new shirt. And I'm thinking to myself, if there's one person, even though I like seeing her shine on her own, that outshines everybody else that could be in the pinnacle or in the fucking inner circle, neither of them have a girl. Serena and Jade Cargill are the two. You know what I mean?
See, I guess what I would have liked to have seen maybe in this is they beat up Dean Malenko. They get to the end, right? And maybe instead of doing the big table spot, which the FTR does against Pride and Powerful, they should have just had MJF lightly push Dean Malenko and have him fall through a table or something. Just give me the call back.
Oh yeah, dude, those it was so bad at the end when they did the dual pile drivers. It took so long to set those up. It just looked wrestling phony. What I would like to have seen if it was me, and this will bury the pin. This is a bad idea. This is a bad choice that I'm going to put out there, but it pops me in my mind for right now, and I'll rethink it and talk myself out of it later. They should have had Dean Malenko in danger, and then the fucking inner circle takes off running, and by the time they get there, Dean Malenko has laid out everybody in the pinnacle by himself. He's got one of them in the Texas Cloverleaf. He's fucking Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 holds. You ain't gonna forget it. Like he could have one guy in something and have the other guy fucking fish hooked. You know what I mean? 2 guys are laid the fuck out. I just think they could have made Dean Malenko stronger there and fucking gotten back on top at the end. No, nobody fucks with Dean Malenko, man, because that's just maybe the mark in me from back then of how much I like those guys as technical wrestlers. But I thought that would have been a funny twist in this fucking scene. You think he's in trouble? You don't need nobody's fucking help. Get him, Dino.
Yeah, I guess I think it would have just made more sense to at least give a little bit more heat, or at least, and you can't use footage, but somebody like, Excalibur does a great job. All the stories, explain it to these new fans of the heat. You got brand new fans who weren't alive for WCW Jericho versus Dean Malenko. You got to explain those things to people so that way it creates that. Or like I said, at least end it with they're threatening to hurt Dean, and then MJF pushes him just like he pushes Jericho, laughs, ha ha ha, and then we'll see you at Sunday, blah blah blah.
Yep.
All right, guys, that's it. AEW, light the fuse. Your go-home show is in the books for May 28, 2021. Friday Night Dynamite, and they'll be back again next week, which I think is going to, hopefully, if this is a good pay-per-view, having 5 days to build anticipation to the show could be a good thing. But can AEW pull that off? We'll find out this Sunday at Double or Nothing. I'm not going to run down the whole card, but just a couple of notable matches here. Of course, we've got Kenny Omega defending the title against Pac and Orange Cassidy. We've got Shida defending the title against Britt Baker. The Bucks defending their titles against Mox and Kingston. Deeb on the pre-show defending her title against the former AEW champion Riho. And Sting and Darby Allin taking on Sky and Paige. And then we got Ethan Page taking on Hangman Page, and Christian Cage taking on Will Hobbs in the Casino Battle Royale. There's a bunch of people in there too. So there's your AEW.
Next week, Friday too again, right? It's
next week, June 4th. Yeah, they will be.
So,
that's what I'm saying. 5 days.
Bad promotions and making yourself look like a mark. I feel bad for the guys in the weigh-in because scenes just go that way sometimes. But the card needs to be put together where you can't just look at it at the top of a show with the graphics and go, I know who's winning every one of these. And if you're going to do that, then you do that. And one of them that you didn't think, that's where the business is done with the swerve on somebody else. So, we're still doing amateur booking. We got a lot of acting, small things from our performers that we need to get rid of, bad habit wise. And, we'll see what the blowback is from two people on your show doing overtly racist, stereotypical fucking things. It'll be very interesting to see cancel culture start to eat their own, which is what the left loves to do.
Well, speaking of cancel culture and everybody eating their own, we have not heard or seen from our conspiracy horsemen in a number of weeks now. But Ben, you got to give us something. The aliens are coming next week. What do we? There's got to be something. Come on,
next week, 4 weeks from now. That's what
they're coming next month. The aliens are here. Speaking of those, are we going to get some sort of Ben Hamin podcast? Doesn't have to be called the Horseman, but there's got to be a breakdown of what's in these files.
There's absolutely going to be Ben Hamin breakdown, I'm sure, on multiple shows, Russo brand. I don't know about the
Ben Hamin, Billy Ray Valentine alien disclosure report episode.
That's going to happen. I talked to him yesterday, and he's actually hooked us up with
the biggest
guest of all time coming hopefully in July. So there's going to be a big, as long as dates go, I don't want to stooge it off and then have something switch where I'm promising something I can't deliver on.
Aliens are coming 9 days. 9 days from tonight, live on Dynamite. 9 days.
Yeah, man. In fact, they're not pushing their alien during alien disclosure. They have a beautiful girl who claims to be an ET, and we didn't see her on the show, so everyone's a fucking moron. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a pretty big to do for the Horsemen. Like I said, you can't just have Batman hanging out at the 7-Eleven, bro. Like, hey, go get me Batman. When the light shines and you need us, we'll be there. There's no doubt about that, bro. So whether it's disclosure or big interviews, we're working on some stuff.
Well, as we mentioned in the middle of the show, you can visit patreon.com/RussoTWC, and you can get a little bit of that Master Shoot Theater and Conspiracy Horsemen. At the top of every show, they do a little bit of conspiracy chat, and then they...
that's how I like them, pal. Hit you and quit you. Get on out of here.
That's what we're going to do today. So go to patreon.com/RussoTWC, patreon.com/Hamin Media Group, where this podcast is free to listen to. So tell your friends. And if you'd like to support the Rip Rogers podcast and all of the other exclusive content there, just, throw us a couple bucks while we're transitioning to the Realm Network. visit patreon.com, Hamin Media Group, and then all of the clients. I manage patreon.com/Stevie Ray TV, where it's on like a steaming pot of neck bones. And I mean, I got some hot news, but maybe I'm going to save it for next week when we have Silvio on. I'll tease it here. I spoke with Stevie Ray last night for 2 hours, and he told me an interesting story about his original trainer, Ivan Putski. And he was not too happy when Putski was in that biography. So much so that he told me something that he said he's never told anybody publicly. So I'll have that for you on the next edition of Light the Fuse. You can also check out patreon.com/The Big Vito brand, where he's got Nunzio joining him for a special reunion episode.
FBI back in action.
Maybe we can get Big Sal on there too at some point. That'll be awesome. So check out patreon.com/The Big Vito brand, patreon.com/The Age Show with Colin Wysong as the producer, host of Impact Attack. That's up there right now with Aaron Stevens and April Hunter. Patreon.com/The Beautiful People. My gosh, those girls are lovely. I'm glad I'm not the one that has to produce them. But, you know, if I did, I'd be okay with it. And, of course, patreon.com/ who am I forgetting? Goldilocks. Don't forget.
And Larry Hankin.
And Larry Hankin.
Brand new Escape from Alcatraz Part 1, where he talks about behind-the-scenes ribs with Clint Eastwood and Don Siegel, very much wrestling locker room-wise. So very cool. I'm going to probably start producing Part 2 of that tomorrow for next week's release. But you can follow him at Hankin Stories. That'd be a huge help for us on Twitter. We're trying to get the numbers up there at Hankin Stories. And we're releasing trailers and all that. Any retweet help on any of these brands during the live chats, our wrestling brands especially, always a big help. But with the Friends reunion where he played Mr. Heckles, it was a big week for us with HBO Max, trying to get that promotion out there and let them know that we got this project going on. So just super, it seems like a mountain, you know, of unimaginable scope and capacity of creative work, which is a great place to be. And you just need to, I need to make sure I stay in a positive headspace, because these opportunities are just great, man. So I'm excited to be doing all creative work, man. But I'm going to party the rest of the day with the posse and shoot some guns and do what we do, man.
So yeah, guys, go ahead and check out russobrand.com. Sign up there, $4.95 a month. Also, as we mentioned, our sponsors, we would like to appreciate them as well. Thebrosters.com. Use the code BRO5LB and you'll save $10 off your 5-pound bag. Go ahead and visit ZordosOliveOil.com and you can get yourself some of the finest Greek artisan oil. All of our pro wrestling tea store, Ben Hamin, BWO Stevie, SEG shirts, Greek God Papadon, Superstar Silvio, Brad Robb from RTW Rewind. He's got a shirt up there. Go check that out.
And a side probably up there too.
Yeah. Also check out
Suck my balls, suck my balls, my balls, suck 'em dry.
Suck My Balls, South Park review. Brand new episodes up every week as we review South Park in linear fashion. And if you are a stoner and you like Big Boy apparel, you can use the code SuckMyBallsPod at BigBoysClub.com. You'll save 15% off your order. They've been pretty thrilled with us. They sent us some free swag, so we're pretty happy. And by the way, for anybody, I can't believe I'm going to explain this. Plaja knows I'm giving him shit because I work with Plaja. If I bragged on you, the listener, then you'd get butthurt and cry. So that's why I don't rag on the listeners. Anyway, go ahead and come on back for another edition of Light the Fuse. Ben, what do you got to say? Take us away.
Yalla, man, you covered it. Hopefully everyone's having a good Memorial Day weekend, tipping some your favorite beverage for those we've lost, and having some good memories, some good laughs together with people you care about, you know, not wearing a mask, hopefully, and getting back to what normal really should feel like. So it's a late edition here on Saturday. Taping, I'll probably release Sunday, of Light the Fuse. We're glad that Team Sexy's headed over to Muscle Beach. Give them a follow. I'm sure they'll be IG and live all day. We love you, Sil, and everybody else who's tuning in here, following us across the HMG Russo brand. We're doing it real big as we tear them up, light them up, tear it down, smoke one down here on Light the Fuse, infidels. Y'all.